Hello and welcome. You've probably been told at some point to just eat more fiber, right? Well, what if I told you that very advice might be the exact reason your gut is giving you trouble? Today, we're going to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, we have all heard this one before. It's the go-to, one-size-fits-all solution for pretty much any digestive issue. It's everywhere, from your doctor's office to that health blog you follow. The message is always the same. Fiber is the magic bullet.
But here's the catch. For so many people, especially if you have a sensitive system like with IBS, just piling on more fiber can totally backfire. It can actually lead to more of what you're trying to fix. More bloating, more gas, more pain. It's so frustrating.
And that right there, that brings us to what we can call the fiber paradox. It's this huge contradiction at the heart of public health advice.
Now, take a look at this chart. This is fascinating. You can see that dietary guidelines recommend we get somewhere between 25 and 38 grams of fiber every day, but the average American, we're only clocking in at around 15 grams. That is less than half of what we're supposed to be getting. It's a massive gap.
So why is the gap so big? Well, a huge part of the problem is that when people actually try to follow the advice and eat more fiber, they get hit with all those awful side effects. And, who can blame them? They just stop trying.
So here's the thing. The problem isn't that the advice is totally wrong, it's that our whole understanding of how fiber works has been, well, pretty outdated.
For decades, we've basically put fiber into these two simple little boxes. Soluble fiber was the one that dissolved in water, and insoluble was the one that didn't. It was a nice, simple story, but science is now showing us that it's way too simple.
A much better way to think about it is to look at these two properties. First, there's viscosity. That's just its ability to form a gel, which is awesome for stool consistency. But the real game changer, especially for those of us with sensitive guts, is this other property, fermentability.
Let's dig into that idea a bit more, because honestly, understanding fermentability is the key to picking the right fibers and finally getting some relief from all that discomfort. That's a perfect way to put it. Some fibers are like fast food for your gut bugs. They get devoured super quickly. And if your gut is already irritated, this is like pouring gasoline on a fire. It can cause a sudden explosion of gas.
And here are some of the main offenders. Now, don't get hung up on these complicated names. Just think of them as the fast-burning fibers. They're often added to processed foods like high-fiber yogurts or protein bars. Your gut bacteria feast on them almost instantly, and the result is a really quick and often really uncomfortable production of gas. So these are the ones you want to be a little cautious with.
But on the flip side, you've got these guys. These are the slow-burn fibers. They're broken down much more slowly and gently by your gut bacteria. They still give you all the great benefits, like bulking things up and feeding your good gut bugs, but they do it without causing that sudden, intense gas and bloating.
Okay, so this is all great in theory, but how do we actually use this information for specific digestive problems? Because it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal.
So let's take a closer look at this chart, because it lays it all out so clearly. For IBS, the evidence points to a soluble, low fermentability fiber like psyllium to help manage symptoms. But now look at a diverticulitis flare-up. The strategy is the complete opposite. You actually need to lower your fiber way down for a bit to give your colon a chance to heal. And then there's GERD, where studies have shown that psyllium can actually help reduce reflux. You see, the right approach really truly depends on what's going on.
All right, let's bring this all home. How can you put this into practice in your own life without making things worse?
If you remember just one thing from our explainer today, make it this. It's time to throw out that old, simplistic advice. It's not just about more fiber. It's about finding the right kind of fiber for your body.
And following these 4 steps is absolutely critical. First, start slow. I mean it. Give your gut time to adapt. Second, drink lots of water. Fiber is like a sponge. It needs water to work its magic. Third, try to get your fiber from a bunch of different whole foods. And finally, and this is the most important one, talk to a professional who can give you advice that's tailored specifically to you.
And just as a reminder, these are the targets we're trying to hit in the long run. Getting there can make a huge difference, not just for your digestion, but for your overall health.
So where is this all heading? Well, as we learn more and more about the trillions of microbes living in our gut, the future of nutrition is getting incredibly personal. Imagine a day when your fiber plan is prescribed just for you, as unique as your own fingerprint. It's not just about more fiber, it's about finding the precise fiber for your gut.
So you've been told to eat more fiber, but it just makes you feel worse, right? Let's get into why.
Yeah, for a lot of us, more fiber just means more bloating, gas, and pain. So what's the deal? Well, you can forget the old soluble versus insoluble rules. Two other properties matter way more. First up, viscosity. You know how oats get thick and gooey with water? That's exactly it. And then there's fermentability. This one's the real game changer because it's all about gas production. Some fibers are rocket fuel for gut bacteria, others are slow burn. This difference is huge. That's why a one-size-fits-all approach to fiber just doesn't work. It has to be specific.
Okay, let's start with IBS. If you have it, your fiber choice is absolutely critical.
See, for people with IBS, gas production is a major trigger for bloating, distension, and pain. So the strategy is simple. Go for slowly fermented fibers. Think psyllium, not inulin. Now, for inflammatory conditions like IBD, the game plan completely changes depending on your current state.
It's a two-step approach. You go low fiber during a flare-up, then slowly build back up in remission.
And get this, even GERD symptoms can be affected by the type of fiber you eat.
The right kind of fiber, like psyllium, might help by speeding up stomach emptying. Pretty cool, right?
All right, let's talk numbers. How much fiber are we supposed to be getting every day anyway?
These are the official targets. As you can see, it really depends on your age and sex.
But here's the reality. Almost nobody actually hits these numbers. It's often called the fiber gap. Just look at this. The average American gets only about 15 grams per day. That's a massive shortfall. This is why that blanket advice to just eat more fiber is not only unhelpful, it's just wrong. So here's your new playbook. Focus on the properties of fiber and choose what's right for you. Really, this is where gut health is heading. Totally customized nutrition based on your own body.
Just imagine, what if a gut map could tell you your perfect fiber diet? It could change everything.